Ladies and gentlemen, they've already begun impeachment proceedings. Now you might say, well, it hasn't really happened yet. AOC, other progressive politicians, Elizabeth Warren, they want to impeach Trump because they have egg on their face. The Mueller report came out. There are no indictments for collusion, no indictments for obstruction. Again, no charges pertaining to collusion, no charges pertaining to obstruction. They're doing what I said they would do. I said what they would do is simply look at each word and say, oh my God, Trump did this, Trump did that. His Russian contacts, they said that he accepted help from Russia. He did not. They have not proven any of their claims. All of their grandiose claims, they think are bolstered by the Mueller report. That is not the case. We still do not have hard evidence that the DNC was hacked. They've convinced themselves that the intelligence community, even in Trump's administration, says the DNC was hacked. So what? First of all, they don't trust President Trump's administration. They only trust what furthers their narrative. The DNC, we only learned the DNC was hacked from CrowdStrike, a third-party tech firm that was outsourced by the Democratic Party. CrowdStrike then gave copies and images to the United States government. We still have no clue. The United States government has never confirmed that those images are accurate. The rationale is the Russians wanted to embarrass Clinton. That's absurd. Clinton, I already stated in 2015, was going to lose to Trump. I didn't need to know categorically that Bernie Sanders was cheated. I wrote in The Hill, The Huffington Post, and Salon. People thought that was clickbait. I was 100% accurate. I stated that she would lose if it was Trump. Now, in a fair primary, Bernie would have won. I was right about that also. Doesn't matter. Thank God Trump won. If people can't understand how you go from Bernie to Trump, read my Federalist article, Why Bernie Supporters Should Vote Trump 2020. But the Mueller report, we can go, well, let's just read Elizabeth Warren's. They've created this world where they foment their fantasies and they bolster this fictional account of what took place. This is Elizabeth Warren. Now, Elizabeth Warren knows very well that Democrats and President Obama's administration presided over money flowing into the Clinton Foundation from Uranium One, Bill Clinton meeting with Vladimir Putin, yellow cake uranium being shipped out of the country, according to the New York Times, while Robert Mueller was the FBI director. Bill Clinton meeting with Putin and getting $500,000 from a Moscow investment bank. And William D. Campbell, a whistleblower an FBI informant that stated he heard Russian lobbyists bragging about their influence with the Clinton Foundation. They don't care about the Russian contacts there. They don't care about the fact that there's a criminal probe in the Ukraine regarding Clinton working with another country to undermine Trump. They don't care that Clinton purchased a Steele dossier with the help from Russian sources to get dirt on Trump. She funneled money through her law firm, so they think that's fair. Just like when the Uranium One deal gave money to the Clinton Foundation, or UBS, Boeing, they all funnel the money. 85 donors gave $156 million. They funnel money to the Clinton Foundation. It's an overt grift. An overt pay-to-play scheme, quid pro quo, but they say, well, if Clintons have nothing to do with it, it's their charitable foundation. Now, Elizabeth Warren, the Mueller report lays out facts. No, it doesn't. Warren not only backstabbed Bernie Sanders, and this is coming from a guy who used to be on the left. Warren did not endorse Bernie Sanders. What she did was endorse Hillary Clinton, the antithesis of her viewpoints on everything. Warren is a political creature who failed her DNA test and then drank beer and then thought that she was, so amazing. Warren, by the way, also can't even get anything in terms of fundraising. Like, nobody wants to give any money to Elizabeth Warren. But anyway, the Mueller report lays out facts. No, it doesn't. It just bolsters the same conspiracy nonsense that a hostile foreign government that President Obama failed to veto the sale of uranium to attacked our 2016 election. No, they didn't. We have no clue about the Facebook ads, which Facebook ads affected which states. We have absolutely no clue at all. We have no clue how many people were affected by these specific Facebook ads. And oh, by the way, the vice president of Facebook said the majority of the ads were seen after the election. But here, once elected, Trump obstructed the investigation into that attack. No, he wasn't indicted on that, and he didn't obstruct at all. He should have fired Comey. And by the way, Andrew McCabe stated that Comey's being let go had no impact on the election. You had a special counsel. You had Trump. Even if he fired Mueller, it wouldn't have interfered in the election because the FBI could have still investigated. And there was no crime to have obstructed. What was the crime that he committed? Tell me, what was the crime? Well, the intelligence community says, who cares? The intelligence community is lying about just basic elements of this fantasy. The DNC was hacked by Russia because they were afraid of Clinton. No, wrong. We have no evidence of that. Just because the Mueller team bolsters that, there's no evidence. You have to provide evidence in the form of at least a government analysis. The government has to confirm these statements, and they haven't confirmed these statements, not even in the DHS or ODNI reports. You have no clue which Facebook ads swung the election, so don't make the claim. But Mueller told James Comey to take it easy on Flynn. That's not obstructing anything. Or sorry, Trump said this. That's not obstructing anything. Trump said something. So what? They went after him with a vengeance, and they didn't stop. And it was a setup, and they framed him because they utilized a dossier that was purchased by Clinton and a company that was outsourced by Clinton and Democrats, and a Mueller team that was comprised only of Clinton loyalists, with people who gave money to Clinton. They haven't. Not only did they not prove obstruction because there was no evidence that he obstructed, and there were no indictments or anything. Not only did they not prove that, there was no obstruction. He fought back. They were appalled that he actually had the guts to fight back, unlike Bernie Sanders, who was like, you punched me in the face. My face needs to apologize to your fist. I'm sorry about that. Let me massage your knuckles with my cranium. So here, Mueller put the next step in the hands of the Congress. No, he didn't. Or maybe he did, but you know what? It's like, it was a political ploy. They're like, well, we didn't really find anything that we could charge him on, but it's really tough. So anyway, your call. Congress has authority to prohibit president's corrupt use of his authority in order to protect the integrity of the administration of justice. The correct process for exercising that authority is impeachment. President's corrupt use is a matter of opinion. He wasn't corrupt in any manner. He didn't commit any crimes. He wasn't charged with obstruction, nor was he charged with collusion, because there was none. It was a fantasy fabricated by Democrats. Now, like James Brown said, there's a big payback coming. To ignore a president's repeated efforts to obstruct an investigation into his own disloyal behavior. How was he disloyal? There was no collusion. They keep on repeating and fomenting the same thing. They don't get it. They don't get it. And they're digging themselves a deeper hole into madness. They don't understand, and now they're going to impeach the guy simply because they lost the election. Now, by the way, the impeachment of Trump, because I think that, they're going to impeach him. Okay? The impeachment of Trump is only going to lead to, every time they try to hurt him, he gets stronger. Have you ever seen this before? You punch the guy and he gets bigger and stronger. Have you ever seen this take place? This has never happened. It's amazing. With Bernie, you just flick, just blow, and it just fizzles away. With Trump, they take a sledgehammer to him and he only gets stronger. to ignore president's efforts to obstruct an investigation. He should have fired Mueller. If it was me, he should have fired Mueller, and then they would have had to prove what evidence they had. They had no evidence. He needs to declassify everything tomorrow. They declassify everything that shows that Strzok, Comey, and McCabe will be charged under the 18 U.S. Code, the Statute 371 that I talk about in my Federalist article below in the pinned comment and in the description section. Share that everywhere. My latest Federalist article will be prescient. Share that everywhere. Mueller could not, first of all, these people set and framed Trump. Then they said, well, Trump had a whole bunch of Russian contacts. None of those contacts had anything to do with collusion, so what? You can meet with Russians, speak to Russian people. God bless the Russian people. If you're Russian American, God bless you. If you're a Russian person, God bless you. The 99% of this country has absolutely nothing against you at all. We love you and all people. You know who has a problem in their brains? Democrats, the 1% of this country, or whatever, unfortunately, whatever percent of this country, that believe in Cold War, Red Scare, conspiracy nonsense. The severity of this misconduct demands that elected officials in both parties, yeah, right, set aside political considerations and do their constitutional duty. This, by the way, is somebody who failed a DNA test. How do you do that? How do you fail? And, okay, Elizabeth Warren, just from the left's perspective, because I was way on the left, completely backstabbed Bernie. You know that song, like not only The Big Payback, I think it was the OJ's Backstabbers. That's Elizabeth Warren. They're smiling in your face all the time. They want to take your place. That's Elizabeth Warren. They're smiling in your face. That's it. That's Elizabeth Warren. Smiling and then backstabbing. She should have backed Bernie Sanders. They had pretty much, they wanted to break up too big to fail banks. That's interesting. Gosh, when's the last time you heard about that? Oh, that's right. They don't care about that. They don't have any value system. That means the House should initiate impeachment proceedings against the President of the United States. Impeachment proceedings have already begun. This is the beginning of impeachment proceedings when you have a person who failed a DNA test in Warren stating, oh, yeah, you know what? Let's impeach the president because President Trump was just a real meanie. And the Mueller report shows that he was a mean guy. And golly gee, and for the good of the country, we must impeach President Trump because it just sounds so good. Impeach Trump. Hashtag impeach Trump. Doesn't that sound better than, oh, the House passed legislation that would double to triple tax collection to further Medicare for all? Well, of course, why would they want to do that? Why would they want to do that? That's crazy. Why would they want Medicare for all legislation if they know they would lose just based on the tax increases? They're smiling in your face all the time. They want to take your place. That's the Democratic Party. And that's Clinton. She's running again. Clinton's running again. This is all from Madam Secretary. They spent 2 years saying that Clinton was cheated because of Facebook ads. Not one person read a Facebook ad and decided not to vote for Clinton. Political advertising bolsters existing biases. You don't look at a Facebook ad and say, I was going to be pro-choice, but gosh, I was going to do, I'm with her and wanted the first female president, but God, I saw, Jesus arm wrestling Satan, and I've changed my mind. Or Buff Bernie coloring book. Yeah, Buff Bernie coloring book. My glistening body. What I did is I took Crisco oil and I did about 75 push-ups, and I did some abdominal crunches. And I got my body to where Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnie, would be jealous of the striations and the lean muscle mass that I had. And what I did was I gave them the Bernard. This is the Bernard. That's called the Bernard stance. And what happened was a Russian guy took a picture of me without my shirt on. And of course, because the women were swooning, actually people were fainting because I was so arousing. Even men and women were aroused by my glistening body. That they took a picture and they put my just sensual physique onto a coloring book, if you could imagine what they did, the devious Russians. And because of that, people in Pennsylvania and Michigan voted for the orange monster, horrible madman Trumpy. So because of that, we must impeach. That's what happened. According to the people who've lost even whatever brain cells they had left, they lost them all. Give me your thoughts below. AOC wants it. Instead of Medicare for all, man, it's impeach Trump, man. Gosh, I wonder when the FEC is going to try to find out what took place with that $1 million flowing into two LLCs that actually paid the co-founder of Justice Democrats. That's funny. Gosh, funny how that works. A year and a half till retribution time, ladies and gentlemen. This only bolsters the Republicans and Trump's quest to eventually indict. William Barr will indict James Comey, Strzok, McCabe, and a whole bunch of other people. He already has the criminal referrals. Impeachment proceedings essentially have begun. You now have rumblings of impeachment. And not only is this another travesty and it's disgusting, but it only serves to help Trump and bolster Trump supporters and independents and people who never thought they'd become Trump supporters but will eventually say enough is enough. Do it, Democrats. They're already doing it. Check out HA2A, my firearms channel. Check out my latest article in the Federalist, my writing in the Jerusalem Post, the Daily Caller. My Patreon link is below if you want to support my voice long term. Thank you, everyone.